We appreciate you guys tuning in. The Tastemakers podcast begins in 5 minutes. Make sure not to go nowhere, because Quote, Brina, Trisha, and Corey, also known as the Tastemakers, will be with you in 5 minutes. Thanks for sticking with us. Oh snap, you still here? Listen, in less than 3 minutes, the Tastemakers pod will be on and popping. Don't miss Bree, Quote, Trish, and Corey talking about the hottest topics in culture. Again, less than 3 minutes. Make sure to stick with us.
Tastemaker.
Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Alright. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight.
I told y'all, patience is a virtue. This is what perseverance will get you. In just 60 seconds, you will be live with the Tastemakers pod. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
For the new tastemakers, sommeliers came out to play. Classics in the current day. For the movers and shakers, for the new tastemakers, sommeliers came out to play. Classics in the current day.
The beat breaker. Tastemakers.
Hey, yo,
Hey.
what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to the
Yo.
Tastemakers Podcast. How y'all
Gang,
doing?
gang.
Welcome to Tastemakers, your favorite Black, grown, fresh, and Christian podcast on the internet. Your favorite, and you know this. I'm
Come
your
on.
girl, Kiko Key. Down here is your
Hey,
boy,
hey.
Sauce, a.k.a. God's favorite DJ, a.k.a. him. That's the producer extraordinaire, your girl, Brina. And this is the illustrious leader of our team. They call him Quote. And welcome to the Tastemakers Podcast. How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on? What's going on? Everybody doing all right?
We switching the game up. Key's doing intros now.
We are.
Keep grabbing it today. Yeah.
He out here looking like a bag of cotton candy. You understand me?
Shout out to Lit Me in the chat. Thank you, Lit.
Shouts out, Lit.
Yes. So how y'all doing? We're gonna start off with everybody's week. How's y'all's week been? We're gonna start with Brina.
Ooh,
What happened?
Yo, what is going on?
man. Feels like this week is really going by really quickly. There's a lot happening. Just tell everybody, keep my family in prayer. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Good news. I was happy to see that we're finally getting the R&B Money episode with Commission this weekend. So
Oh, that's fire.
You.
very
like
excited.
4 members of commission?
No, nah, we
3?
get Carl and Mitchell, just 2. I was
2.
hoping for
no
all
Fred,
of them.
huh?
No Fred. Fred left the group
Okay.
again, but you know we'll take what we
How
can
you
get.
do an interview with Commission without the superstar?
That would be my question. That would be my question.
Well,
It's not even
Well,
Commission.
well.
That's like doing Destiny's Child with no Beyonce or the dark skinned girl.
Kelly?
Kelly.
Kelly?
That's her name. I forgot her name.
I mean, you really just, you should have probably, even if you're going to make a statement like that, you probably should have just left it with no Beyonce. But then you add Kelly. And the only reason I say that is because you just totally leave out the only one other member of Destiny's Child.
Nah, but
Michelle.
Kelly and Beyonce were like the ones though.
They were the
Yeah,
OG ones.
Kelly and
Well,
Beyonce were
yeah.
the ones.
Destiny's Child has had
I
like
agree.
7 iterations.
They had the
Yeah.
most success outside of. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. That's true.
So, that's what's up.
Mm.
Is that your
Yo,
week,
I
Brina?
was. So I got 2 weeks to catch up on, but I'm
Oh,
gonna make it
okay,
fast.
wait.
Uh-oh.
I'll make it fast. I promise.
Okay.
I'll make it fast. So I was in Miami.
Misbehaving, of course.
No, I passed this test. Okay.
Yeah,
I
okay.
passed this test.
Okay.
You feel me? So I'll cut all the other stuff out. But so I was in Miami and we was on Miami Beach this time, staying in Miami Beach.
Mhm.
And we get in the house at like we get in the Airbnb at 4 a.m. The Airbnb is an actual it's a condo. So we rented out a condo. You feel me? So
And when you say we, just for context.
me and my boy Mario.
Oh, Mario's back,
Oh,
huh?
the
It's Mario
troublemaker.
again. Oh, Miami,
The
Mario.
troublemaker. Let's
Mario.
go. Okay, let's
But-
hear it. How many sports does
Luigi.
condo have?
But me and Mario got in a fight, so we not friends no more. We got in a fight in Miami. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
It was mad
Okay.
awkward the last day. So we're not really friends anymore. But this happened while we were still friends.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so it's 4 a.m. We're pulling into the condo parking lot. I'm getting because you gotta check in with the valet every time you come back inside the joint. So I check in with the valet. They give me my key. I'm going to my room. I press the elevator button. Elevator opens. There are 2 drunk white women in the elevator
Of course.
who are on the ground, and they seem to believe that the elevator is broke. The elevator is not broke.
I'm running. I am literally running. I opened the elevator and 2 white girls are on the ground. I am running, or I'm waiting for the next elevator. Oh, no, you guys are good. You're good. Just stay right there. It's
Quote,
okay.
they think
What
the
are you
elevator
going
is
to do?
broke.
Let me reach in and hit the button and come back out.
Quote,
Right.
you don't understand. They think the
Jonathan
elevator is
made me
broke.
out this piece.
They think the elevator is broke, and I have saved their lives because I got the elevator to be open. Now they don't know that they were in the elevator because according to them, they were in the elevator for 7 minutes with no kind of movement, and they thought they pressed the button. They didn't press the button.
Golly, you know how hammered you gotta
Shouts
be.
out to Anthony in the chat.
So they're in the elevator and they're looking at me as a superhero now. They're like, "What is your name? You saved our lives. We've been in this elevator for 7 minutes. Just
Please, please grab our sideburns. Yo, shouts out to Regis in the chat.
me being the social person that I am, I'm like, really? What happened? Tell me the story. What's up? So we talking. They're like, we were in this elevator and we came in here and the elevator just didn't go up. I was like, did you press any buttons? They was like, yes, we pressed all the buttons. I was like, oh, interesting. They didn't press none of the buttons, y'all. So I'm like, so where y'all from? So I'm talking
Not a
now.
button was pressed.
So as I'm talking, one of the girls is a redhead chick. One of the girls is blonde, and one of the girls is a redhead. The redhead girl, she sprints to the bathroom to go throw up. She's throwing up twice throughout our conversation. So now I don't want nothing to do with her throwing up self. So I'm mainly talking to her friend. So I'm asking her friend, like, yo, so where y'all from? What are y'all here for? They was like, yeah, we're here for a girls trip. We've been here since Tuesday. We probably not leaving until next Friday, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, oh, okay, bet. That's what's up. So they tell me they from Wisconsin. They Wisconsin or Minnesota. They're from Minnesota. They're from Minnesota.
One is better than the other. No, Minnesota
Right.
better.
They're
Don't
both,
you know?
Crazy.
they're both the same to me. I don't know. So they're telling me about, they're from Minnesota.
Shouts out
They're
to
here
Tash
for a
in the
girls
chat.
trip, whatever. And then she insists on me giving on her giving. She gave me her number. She insisted on it. She said, "What's your number? I'm gonna call you." Because I don't know why there was a reason why I forgot. So she called me and I said, I bet I got your number. We should link up tomorrow and do brunch or something. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like 4 a.m. And I was like, yo, like brunch is like probably around noon. So now I send them upstairs because I'm like, all right, the elevator's working. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Look, what's y'all's room number? I'm gonna send y'all to the floor. Come to find out, they staying right across the hallway from us. You feel me? So I'm like, yo, y'all staying right across the hallway from us. We can go up together. So
The
boom.
devil is busy.
Ain't he though? Good God Almighty. Continue.
Nah, he's not busy. Now I'm sober minded. I haven't been drinking nothing, so I'm good. This is easy. Like this is not even.
But I'll still grab your sideburns.
Nah.
I'm sorry.
So we get off the elevator. Shorty gives me the biggest, longest hug. She's like, thank you so much. I don't know what we would have did without you. You saved our lives. I said, I bet, no doubt. Gave her a hug, sent her on to her room. Boom, boom, boom. So then she texted me and was like, there's this brunch spot we went to. You guys should come with us. No, I'm sorry. So then at that point, Mario was downstairs. Mario was a little tipsy. So Mario was downstairs. I said, Mario, I met these 2 drunk white girls. He said, where you at? I'm coming.
Wow.
Was that like a
Mario,
beacon call?
Wow.
Was that the beacon
Mario,
call?
let me finish.
Was that
Yo,
the
let
black
me
cap
finish.
thrown in the air? Like, what was that?
Right. Problematic.
Nah, I can see why y'all think it was, but it was mad cool. It won't even on that kind of time.
Was he coming to save you?
No, he was coming to enjoy the festivities.
Got it.
That's exactly
Okay.
the kind of time
Wow.
we thought it was on.
Okay.
I know, but I had to explain to him, yo, it's not what you think. So he got up there, and I was like, he was like, yo, where they at? I said, yo, what in their room? What you talking about? I said, but they right across the hall if you want to go over there. You know what I'm saying? So they asked a question that was weird, but I think the question they asked was, are you by yourself? I said, no, I'm with my homie. You know what I'm saying? And then they because I wasn't by myself, they were less inclined. Like they stopped trying to like come out and hang out with me in the room because I feel like it was a safety issue for them at that point. But I feel like if I told them I was by myself, they would have tried to come in the room and hang out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Thank God for Mario.
So I know, right? Ironically.
at this moment.
Right at this moment. So, I gave him a hug. Y'all so nice, whatever. I'll see y'all in the morning. And then sent them on their way. And then I didn't hear from him again. We didn't go to brunch. So I don't know what happened. But that was funny. Because I was like, as soon as the elevator door opened, I was like, Ain't this about it?
You think you on TMZ, guys.
I said
That's
not
what happened.
today, Lord.
I rebuke you, Satan.
Exactly. I said
It's
you're not gonna
today,
get me
Satan,
caught up
not
today.
today,
Nope. I
Lord.
learned my lesson.
It sounds like a setup.
Exactly. Well, not that. Nah, because the chicks was mad cool. The chicks is mad cool. So
They were
but-
drunken on the floor, though.
Yeah, but it won't no kind of vibe like let's set this black man up type thing. It won't that kind of
Yes,
vibe.
they was definitely trying to run.
They were trying to run a train on you.
Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of night.
So that was Miami. That was like the highlight, not the highlight, but that was like the exciting part. And then me and Mara got in a fight. And I don't think we're friends anymore, but I'm not sure. But I think it's all because of it's not a misunderstanding, but it is a miscommunication because we don't chill as often as we do. So he doesn't understand how I say stuff sometimes, and he's easily offended. So whenever he's ready to talk, I am ready to have a conversation, but he's just like, no, I don't want to talk. So
What did you say?
I call him selfish, but like that's light. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that you'd be like
Amongst dudes, that should be light.
that's light, bro.
Amongst dudes, that should be light.
He was in his feelings though. So
How'd
it
you
was
say
bad.
that?
It was super weird because like this is like the night before
Maybe
we
I'm
leave.
selfish.
You know what I'm saying? So like we're not talking from when we leave the Heat game until the next morning. And then I don't even drive you to the airport. You catch your Uber. Like that's how in your feelings you are.
Hold on, were y'all dating?
Right. I'm like, it's giving breakup vibes. What's happening right now?
We definitely broke up. We definitely broke up.
Table.
And I'm still hurt from it. But like, I'm like, dang. But you know, cooler heads have not prevailed yet. So that was 2 weeks ago. This past week was cool. I had to DJ a sneaker ball up in DC at Bus Boys and Poets. Went to go. Well, me and the old thing, we linked up after Bus Boys and Poets. And Chick-fil-A got this store in Hyattsville, Maryland called Little Blue Store. Have y'all heard of that?
Glossed over the old thing and went straight to Chick-fil-A. But go
He
ahead.
sure did.
Go ahead. Continue about your little Chick-fil-A story.
Nah, because that was it. We just went out. There was nothing else.
Okay.
So we linked up because she lives in Baltimore and I was in Hyattsville.
Oh, that old thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
okay.
fact.
It's the thing part for me, but continue.
You know the slang.
Okay.
Do you not do women not like that when we call them the old thing?
I mean, it's a little objectifying, but continue.
Really?
Corey, about your blue
It
store.
is. But we all objectify each other no matter what people say.
I'm about to say, don't girls have some kind of name for dudes?
Of course they do. Of course they do.
Tell me about your little blue store, mate.
So there's a restaurant that's created by Chick-fil-A called Little Blue Store, and it's like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Wendy's and another restaurant all combined together, but it's a test store. So imagine Chick-fil-A selling Brussels sprouts, selling hamburgers, selling biscuits 24 hours, selling like cheeseburgers. Like it's that, but it's the Chick-fil-A brand. So it's a really interesting place. But apparently I texted the picture to my Chick-fil-A owners that I know, and they said, "Oh yeah, they testing some stuff out." You know,
Shout out to Charles in the chat, and I think we already give a shout out to Tasha in the chat though. She sounds like she on her Mario right now, aka in her feelings.
But yeah,
Because y'all put that old thing, and that thing sounds so objectifying.
Shouts out to Amber in the chat. But Key, so you do not ever do that to any dude ever with the girls.
Yeah, I feel like
Ever.
girls do it all the time.
The only thing Shaw said, I literally came in on 2 drunk white chicks. Yeah, I got more interesting after that. Keep listening, Charles. So no, I don't objectify men. If anything, I'll say how I like them to look. Like I'll liken them to like food related things, but I don't never say that old thing.
Yo, that's mad objectional to a food.
Blue
Food?
shirt, food thing,
How is food not
goatee,
Key, what? Come on.
thick 'em. Y'all do this stuff. Y'all do this.
Y'all definitely do. We just don't care.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. We just don't
That
care.
old thing sounds like a sweater with holes in it. It sounds like shoes you kick around in. It don't sound like
What
a
about-
hoodie.
What
Shouts
about
out to
if I
Amanda
call
in the
you my
chat.
old joint? My old joint.
I don't want to be called a joint either. A joint, a John, a thing. None of them. None of that.
Yo, a John's low key like an endearment.
I mean, I lived in Philly, so I understand. I understand the colloquialism. I just don't like it.
So you'd rather say, "I used to talk to a girl and we linked up." That's so unseasoned. Like that's just so like, that's something that they say. You know what I'm saying?
It was quite white. I agree.
Yeah, like let us talk the way we talk.
Y'all be picking and choosing, ladies. Y'all be picking and choosing.
I don't say. The only thing the closest I've gotten to the closest I've gotten to objectifying a man is saying something like we were talking about the kind of and I was like, I like my men thick like cold peanut butter. That's the furthest I've gotten to objectifying.
You've called him thick and peanut butter.
Yep.
Thick is an adjective, not an objectifying word.
Nah, yo.
Peanut butter?
Okay, peanut butter.
A food product.
But not old thing. Y'all don't see how that sounds
Shouts
weird.
out to Lost and Found.
Bro, when we say old thing, we're not talking about like age. We're not talking about like
it's low key like my old lady.
Yeah.
But it's the old lady. It's like the ex old lady. Y'all
okay, so look, so Key, if we say my new thing, is that not objectifying?
Yes, it's the thing.
So no, you said old as if it meant like
Old
like
and
old
thing
shirt.
together. It just sounds bad.
Yeah, blame it on Lauryn Hill. It's that thing. All right, keep it moving.
Crazy.
How's your wig bang quote?
Oh, that's why we did this. So Quote can get his weekend in. I like this. Yes, because Quote never tells us about his weekend.
He doesn't.
It does not.
That wasn't why we did it, but it was a decent segue. Thank you for the alley-oop.
Nah, I like that. Yeah, Quote, tell us about your week, bro.
This ain't the one, guys. This ain't the one.
No.
We want to keep it going.
Okay, well, I'll tell you how my week has been since Quote want to be funny styles. So
it's not funny styles. If I told you what's going on over here, it changes the vibe of the whole situation.
Yeah. Nah, I can definitely respect that.
Well, then I'll end on a high note. Hey guys, my week has been fantastic. Aside from the fact that I've been spiritually attacked almost every day for the last 10 days. Aside from that, I have my podcast gets relaunched in January. I just got pegged to host my own Christian radio show in January.
What? FM, AMs, or internet?
Internet. And my press-on nail business launches in 10 days.
You get money out here.
And so, yes, I've been doing the things just low-key on the low, grinding, creeping. And, of course, I changed my hair because I felt like a bum.
Creeping? Who you creeping with?
No, I said I've been creeping and working on them. I'm not creeping with nobody. This is how rumors get started.
She creeping with that thing.
I'm not creeping with no thing.
She creeping with the peanut butter.
Things.
She creeping with the peanut butter. Don't tell the jelly.
I'm not
telling you.
There are no things. I'm single as a dollar bill. I promise to you.
Nah, you definitely said creeping, Key. You know what creeping means inside the culture.
I understand what I said. I've been creeping on the low, like getting my
that sounds worse.
But hold on. But was you politicking with this chicken?
No.
Nobody cared when DMX said that joint. Once again, y'all is anyway.
I didn't like when DMX. Well, we've already know that.
Nah,
DMX,
hold on.
DMX, but he was highly problematic. Y'all, we know this, right?
Politicking with this chicken.
Nah, but Key. Quote makes a very good point. All the songs that you like to twerk to, they all degrade y'all, and y'all be singing them word for word.
Okay, for the record, I don't twerk.
But Tasha, but Christian man, let Juvie drop.
That's what I'm saying.
That drop.
I've been delivered, guys.
Let some.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No. That was key. My bad. Let me go to Tasha. Tasha, let that dirty wine drop. Okay. Let. Come on, man.
Yo. It just depends on what person's calling y'all these names that y'all can accept it from.
I think the older you get, the less tolerable it is.
Yeah, right. Because y'all always be like, he not talking about me. Yes, he is. He's talking about whoever's listening to the song.
Listen. I can say that this is problematic. That old John, that old thing it does not sound okay. I know that y'all in your feelings over that. It's okay. I don't like it. I ain't say you ain't gotta say it no more. I can't police your language. I'm just saying I don't like it.
That should be the least of your worries.
I agree.
Whatever. Anyway,
homie almost got set up by 2 white girls. You talk about
this
that
is
old
true,
thing.
but that's because God is
He
like,
could have been in jail.
They wanted-
He almost, this Joker was almost Jonathan Majors out here. And you worried about?
I said that, but
Right.
we already established that Goss is a literal walking, talking Christian Deuce Bigelow. We've established that, right?
Nah, yo, they weren't gonna set me up. White women love me.
Okay.
And on that note, guys, welcome to tonight's show.
That's what Jonathan Majors said too. Let's see.
Mhm.
We have some very interesting topics for you tonight. Okay,
Yeah.
tonight we're gonna talk about paternal grandparents. Are they responsible for deadbeat daddies? We're gonna talk about a pastor who recently stopped being a pastor and has developed an OnlyFans and says she's closer to God now than she's ever been after having an OnlyFans. We're going to talk about, are there double standards in dating? Is it okay for women to date significantly younger men, like under the age limit? We're going to talk about Christian BBLs. Like, what is even that? And then finally, we're going to talk about this new Jonathan Majors video that has surfaced about the fight with him and his ex-girlfriend. But before we get into those, we're going to get into the memes of the week.
Yo, we got to take away the privilege of everybody voting in the Tastemakers chat, because there was way better topics to talk about than those 4. I'm just gonna put that out there.
These are paid Patreon members who are in the chat.
Can we change the tier?
They get to vote.
Can we change the tier?
Can you be like tier? And if you would like to join the Tastemakers group chat and vote on the topics that we do every week, join the Patreon.
Nah, we need to have the voting privileges at the $20 tier. That needs to be at that tier.
I'm not necessarily against it because that would help with the overhead, but I don't know. Patreon.com, of course, search Tastemakers Pod. Hey, join into the group chat and all the other things. Also, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Please, please, please just hit the subscribe button right there. Go ahead and hit like with that. It's just your reasonable service. Do us that favor, hit like. It causes the algorithm to push the show out further so people can know what we got going on right absolutely now. So do that. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Share this to your group chat. Share this on your social. Let them know you're chilling with the Tastemakers Pod. Memes of the week. Is that what's popping, Key? What we got?
All right. This is my meme. Which staff would win this brawl? And this post says a healthy Waffle House staff could go toe to toe with the Avengers.
Absolutely.
I agree. The word healthy is very interesting in that sense.
Right.
Very.
But yes,
Right. Can I
yes,
tell you my story
yes.
about the toothless Waffle House cook that tried to holler at me?
Not the toothless.
Yes, he was toothless.
Wow.
If you've ever been on any of the prayer calls with me, I talked about Toothy before. I call him Toothy. He wouldn't be watching.
That sounds degrading. Thank you, Goss. That was quick. That sounds. Hey, Toothy. Anyway,
He had no fronts. Not even, you know how some people miss 2 front teeth or 1 tooth in the front or 1 tooth on the side? His whole front was gone.
Oh no.
Right.
Right. Like all 8 teeth in the front was out.
Oh,
Amber,
man.
shut.
Listen.
Amber, hush.
Lord Jesus. What we got next?
Okay, next, this is Kiera's.
This looks like Scare Straight for huskies that do too much in the house. So y'all was wolves, huh, little man?
That's funny.
Wow.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, he looks shooketh.
He looks very shooketh.
Mm-hmm.
Like he ain't gonna pee in the corner no more. He gonna go outside. He gonna go outside from now on.
What we got next?
Okay, quote. This one is yours.
All right, so I'm looking for people who are interested in turning $100 into $5,000. This is not a pyramid scheme or Herbalife. Yeah, we're gonna be selling crack, yo. Just go straight up selling crack. Invest in my business, yo. Let's get it.
Oh my Lord.
Let's get it.
Wow.
Yo,
Happening right now.
Yo, can drug dealers start LLCs and like get tax write-offs?
No.
You can. I feel like you can.
Only if you sell marijuana, because and it's only in the legalized state.
Nah, but I'm saying you could start an LLC as a front for a drug business and then start getting tax write-offs.
That's essentially organized crime, sir.
Mhm.
Organized.
The
Like
question
whole-
was, could it happen? The answer is yes, it could happen.
Definitely can happen.
My aunt used to say she think Rainbow is a front for organized crime because there's no way that they make money selling them cheap clothes. She used to say that about Rainbow.
About who?
Rainbow. My used to
Rainbow.
say about Rainbow. She thinks it's a money.
Wow.
She said she thinks it's a money laundering front because who makes money selling these cheap clothes? I was
Nah,
like,
Fashion Nova be the same way. I feel like.
Wow. Charles said Goss can't talk about topics. He never introduces them. He said you never be having no topics, but you be talking about the topics is there. So honestly, Goss do occasionally be having topics. He just don't put them in the
in the Patreon.
In the
Patreon
Patreon
group
chat.
chat.
Yeah.
In the other
Yeah,
chat.
he puts them on the other
Put
chat.
them in the host chat.
The host
Those
chat.
topics
Yeah,
be
yeah.
trash, bro.
So
I need you not to say that on the live, but continue with the memes, Brina.
actually, I'm so glad y'all had topics because I've been so out of it because of how my week has been,
Mhm.
and so
Oh,
I'm
you
so
need to take a
glad.
sabbatical, yo.
Charles,
so glad.
shut up.
That we had. Not what that mouth do.
Yo, y'all, let me tell you how my
Look,
brother's
listen.
been out of pocket with me all day today. Anyway, continue.
Charles, you need to put it on 1.5 speed or 2 speed so that you can catch up to actual live too. By the way,
Right.
but
Okay.
yes, that is hilarious. What we got next?
Okay, the last one. This is Corey's.
What we doing, y'all? This is a hard choice for me.
Really?
Oof.
I
I'm
already
gonna say
know.
berry kicks.
Over
Rice
Rice
Krispie
Krispie
treats for me all
Yes.
day.
Yeah,
I really
Rice
like
Krispie treats for me too.
Because this cook, yeah.
Rice
It was
Krispie treats
definitely-
was fire, son.
Oh yeah, Rice
I'm
Krispie
making
treats.
them
But
like
why is
that.
Rice Krispie treats like the only real brand name in this joint?
Nah, Berry Kicks is.
Kicks is absolutely a
Oh,
joint.
Kicks is. You're right. But isn't that
Yeah.
Kaboom just Fruity Pebbles?
Is it? I don't
Kaboom
know.
got Fruity Pebbles. And
I don't
Kaboom
remember
used
that
to,
one.
Kaboom used to give me the shakes. I hated Kaboom.
Hey,
Used to give you the sugars, yo.
They used to give me the
even
shakes
know.
like crazy. I can't. My grandmother would come in the house, that Kaboom. I'm like, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
That's funny.
right, Amanda. Exactly. We owe. Keep it moving. Let's go, guys.
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
meme.
that's it.
And
That's the
those
last
are
one.
the memes of the week.
Yeah,
Again, like and
right.
subscribe, share the podcast,
Yes.
tell a neighbor, tell a friend. And if you feel
Please.
so inclined, you should donate. We have all of our information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can
Hit
donate
that
to our
Cash
Cash App. You can donate to our other ways. We do have Zelle. Do we have PayPal?
Hit
Use the
that
Cash
Cash
App.
App.
Okay, just hit our
Join the
Cash App.
Patreon.
It helps with overhead, and you can join the Patreon, which also is donation,
with
but the Patreon gives you access to the foolery that happens during the week behind the
All
scenes,
week. Behind
all
the scenes.
week long.
Goodness gracious.
With that being said, let's get to this. I'm sorry. These are the tiers. So there are 3 tiers. There's a $7.99 tier. There's the $12.99 tier, and then there's the $19.99 tier. Now, the $19.99 tier gets you free tickets to a lot of the stuff that be happening. Domination Festival, Jesus and R&B. You can see Corey salivate over wit at Jesus and R&B. All of the fun stuff happens.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Here we
Yo,
go.
February 10th.
February 10th?
That's the next G's and R&B.
Oh, bet.
Okay.
Valentine's
So if you
Day
join the
weekend.
Patreon, you get free tickets to that.
Valentine's Day weekend, but it's called Lovers and Friends.
Where's it gonna be?
Don't they already have a Lovers and Friends, though?
They got a festival, but we're doing an event. Lovers and
Okay.
Friends RVA.
All right.
You got a locale or no?
It's in Richmond.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it here
Okay.
first. Corey's gonna keep talking about it. He'll give you more details as the time progresses. With that being said,
You bringing back Wit?
No, we're not bringing back with it.
who you gonna have hosting?
We got some new blood.
Shouts out to John H in the chat.
Thank you, John.
Everybody
So
come in the
you're
chat.
not gonna
Complimenting Key.
We don't know yet. I'm still planning it.
Okay, cool. All right, no problem. So, Lovers and Friends coming in February. Corey out here trying to make matches. Amen.
So
First topic up for the night is a video. Now, I don't know if we should play this video because she cusses a lot. I watched this joint and she cussed for 24 straight minutes. But she was
It's not 24 minutes, though, is it?
It is.
The clip is 24 minutes? Well, we can't do that anyway, right?
No, we can't. But it's still
Yeah.
a really long. Like she cusses she come in on 10. Anyway,
Shouts
the
out to
topic
Nat
is
D in the chat. Go ahead.
paternal grandparents. Are they responsible to pick up the slack for deadbeat dads? Can we play this video? Because she cusses a lot.
Wait, it's 24 minutes. We ain't paying a 24-minute video, right?
I know, but I'm saying the first 30 seconds is wild.
Hey, we are all grown. We all
All
have
right.
heard cussing.
Listen, trigger warning. She drops the F-bomb several times. Like a lot of times. Like a lot of times. Go ahead, Marina. Play as much of the clip as you can before the Saints can't take it no more.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to be like, okay, all right, I'm tired.
Like,
All right. All right, here we go.
Inbox, why you on live with me right in the fucking thing? Because this thing got the game fucked up for real.
Yeah, I'm on live because I'm sick of all these. Okay, I'm on live, bitch.
I'm already done. I'm already finished.
I'm on live, bitch.
Tigger, you stupid.
What time did I fuck out, shit? What had time to get something to eat, shit?
Fat.
I'm fucking
Fast forward a little bit till she
because I
starts
lunch
talking.
only 30 minutes, not on their home.
Lord,
Okay, guys, I fucking 4 kids. I ain't knock on their bitch door, begging their bitch to babies and let anybody put a dick inside of your poo poo and bust a nut up in there. Please understand that is your goddamn baby. Okay, so don't come on Facebook coming for me because you saying that my daughter father and his family don't do shit for my fucking baby. I don't supposed to do shit for your motherfucking baby. I raised my fucking 4 kids.
You gotta chill, bro. We can't.
all right.
OD.
That was a lot.
She proceeds to cuss for 24 minutes. So the premise is this lady is in VA. Apparently one of her sons is out here making babies like Future, right? Like Nick Cannon. He just knocking them down and putting babies in everybody. And the 2 of the baby mamas apparently got together and started talking trash and was under her social medias, calling her all kinds of names and saying and calling her all her name and blah 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 blah. And she had enough of it, and she came on basically in not so many uncertain terms and said, "I'm not responsible because you're too ignorant to put on a condom. I'm not supposed to take care of your babies. Them ain't my kids. If my sons make grandbabies."
So I want to make sure I'm following. The baby mamas is mad because the baby daddy is a deadbeat, and they expect the baby daddy's mama to help take care of their babies.
Yes. And she is like, absolutely not. She said, and she actually said later in the video. Now, she said a lot of stuff. I watched the whole thing, and she came. I'm thinking we're listening to. Anyway, I'm gonna get my opinion later. She basically is saying, I'm not responsible for y'all's kids. I got sons, and they make babies all over the place. She runs down how many kids this man got, how many babies he done made. She named like 5 different kids. She said 2 of them turned 1 at the same time. I was like, wow, miss, that's a lot.
So you telling me she got 3 kids by 4 baby daddies?
She got 3 kids, but she said her son, one of her sons, she's like, she got 4 kids. She done told them, she told them don't be out here making babies. They don't listen. The only grandkids she got are the ones that comes from her daughters. If her sons make kids, them ain't her grandkids. She's not responsible for them kids. That's what she said. And she said it with her whole chest. Family, we're gonna start with Corey. How do you feel if if your homeboy was a deadbeat, his baby mother was mad that he's a deadbeat, is your homeboy's mom now responsible for taking care of them kids?
Oh man. Technically no, because they're not her kids. They're not her grandbabies.
They are her grandbabies.
Oh no, you're right. They are her grandbabies. But this isn't a thing of just because you're irresponsible means responsibility falls on somebody else. I don't think that's necessarily how that goes. I think about the saying where it says because what is it? Or bad planning on your part doesn't result in emergency on my part.
Yeah.
You know me? So I would say no, technically, she is not responsible. If she wanted to be nice, then she could do that. If she wanted to kind of set an example and like the kids need to be, raised by somebody that's stable and somebody that understands life a little bit and they want a good example, then she may want to step in and be that person to show the example. But is she obligated to? No, she's not. And the baby mothers, I think they understand who they're dealing with when they slept when they slept with with old boy. That's another thing that you call us. We don't care as old boy. But I've digressed. So it's not
all night with this
a thing of responsibility from the grandmother's part, but it's raise better kids so that your kids ain't out here sleeping around making legitimate babies. Y'all know I stutter. So
you good.
Stupid.
I don't know, man. Well, actually, I do know. Yeah, I don't think it's the grandmother's fault, or I don't think it's her responsibility to take care or raise those kids. But it's her fault for raising a bum child.
She said that too in the video. She was like, they just like they sorry daddy. She didn't say it like that. She definitely colorful that language up. They just like they sorry daddy. Then she went into this whole story. It got real performative because then she started sounding like Jamal Harrison Bryant. No cap. Halfway through the story, she was like, and I laid on the table when I had to get an abortion. And I was like, oh, you're doing the absolute, like it was reenactment. There was like dramatization.
Why do you know Jamal Bryant's middle name? Like,
that's not his middle name. That's his last name. Harrison Bryant is his last name because his mama's a Harrison. And his daddy's a Bryant.
Did not know that Jamal Bryant had a hyphenated situation.
Yeah, he has a hyphenated name.
No, I thought Harrison was his middle name. No.
But like she started hooping, like literally hooping, but like cussing and hooping at the same time. It was a lot.
I low key want to hear that.
It was a lot.
And that's okay. Never mind. I know what that is. That's Bernie Mac.
It was like Bernie and Jamal Bryant together. It was a lot. And she was like, they just like they daddy. I had to do all of this stuff. I had to go and take care of these kids by myself. I didn't ask my baby's daddy's mamas for nothing. You better call your mother effing mama. If you want somebody to help you, call your mama. Don't you got a mama? It was crazy. And so again, Brina, is the baby daddy's mama responsible if baby daddy is a deadbeat?
You know what? I agree with Corey on this one. I'm going to say no. But I do. Grandparents are going to want to have like a level of involvement. They're not going to want to be like 100% responsible, especially if the dad is fully capable. It's a different story if the dad's just, passed on and now you're in a position if both the parents are gone. But if he's just a deadbeat, that doesn't make the parent legally responsible or just responsible, period. Like, I don't agree with that either.
So is the onus on does that then bounce it back to the mama's mama? Like, is the mama's mama solely responsible as well? Because that's who she's gonna end up leaning on.
It's a shame how that works. I think the responsibility is still on the mother. The responsibility is going to fall on the mother. The grandparents are there to assist. That's just at their will. Like if they choose to do so, which they usually do, but obligating them to do that is crazy. Yeah. So
I know you said it's on the godparents. But what about it takes a village? That's what it takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
It does. But the parents are responsible. The village is going to be involved. Like, I have a niece and a nephew. They're not my responsibility. Anything I do for them, I choose to do for them. They have parents. So that's the way it's supposed to be. Even with grandparents can step in, but you can't rely on them if the parents are still around and able to do so. So, no, I don't think the grandmother should be responsible.
Cool. What about you, Quo? What you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty much, for the most part, on par with Brina and Goss. Are the grandparents technically responsible? No. Should they have to assist or help? Hold on. See, it's responsible and the assist or help are the two different things to me.
Yeah.
Grandparents should be there to assist and help.
Yeah.
They shouldn't necessarily be responsible for. Any grandparent worth their salt is going to want to assist and help however they can. So, in my opinion, this woman, I hate to judge her from afar without knowing her context of her life outside of the 20 seconds we played or 24-minute play that was uploaded, but she would not seem to be worth her. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Any grandparent should want to assist and help. Does that make them responsible for like the day in, day out of whatnot? No. Certain grandparents step up and do that. We've seen that for years. When something happens to the parents, maybe the parents strung out on drugs or whatever the case may be, and grandma will step in and she'll help raise the child, whatever the case may be. But is it their responsibility to do it? No. Should they be there to assist and help? Most definitely. And again, any grandparent worth their salt. Worth their salt. Is that the phrase? Is it worth their weight in gold? Where is it? Worth their
worth their weight in salt. Usually, they usually because salt was currency back in the day, so that's why.
Gotcha. Should want to assist and help.
Yeah.
If they can, their grandchildren, because they should have love for their grandchildren beyond their own child and or the baby mama. That's my experience. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree that it's not the responsibility of the grandparents, but the grandparents should have the ability to step in and help. She was making some valid points though. She was cussing the entire time. I wouldn't recommend anybody with a sensitive spirit go watch this video. When I tell you, she said mother effer more than Bernie Mac has ever said mother effer in a comment. It was like, wow, miss, that's your favorite word. She leaned on that joint. Like you wouldn't have been able to buzz it and hear the conversation. That's how bad she leaned in on that joint. But she made very valid points. She was like, first of all, she said, why would you sleep with a man who ain't never introduced you to his mama? Why don't you give us the option of figuring out if you even want you in our family or not? And I was like, oh.
I don't believe in that second part, but I believe in the first part.
She said, give us the opportunity to figure out if we even want you to be a part of our family.
No, your child made that decision.
Then she said, you opened your legs and laid down with a man who didn't even bring you home, that you ain't sat at my dinner table. So I don't know you. I'm a stranger. Don't ask no stranger for nothing. Don't call me asking for your little funny look. Like she was going in. Don't call me asking for your baby.
I get that point. You probably don't want to sleep with a man if you ain't, met his parents. You probably should wait till you get married. But if you don't, you should at least want to investigate the stock in which he comes from. Before you let him put his stock up in you. I just, I think these are all good points per se. But like I said, I done seen people be in worse situations and grandparents still try to assist and help how they can.
Yeah. I don't.
Trudon in the chat.
What's up, Judon? I don't ask my for those who may not know, I have two baby daddies. One was actually my ex-husband, but I call him my baby daddy because he ain't my husband now. And I don't ask anybody for help. I don't ask them for help. Now, my oldest one, her father's family spoil her rotten. They just ingratiate themselves. They just overextend. They're just like, no, we're gonna get her all of the things, whatever the case may be. Like they overextend themselves. So I very seldom have to ask for anything. And when I don't ask for things, more often than not, I get rebuked. Right? Like hard. Like, why didn't you call us and tell us that she needed such and such? I'm like, because you bought her an iPad and the magic pen and an iPhone and an Apple. Like, she doesn't need anything else, right? Like, y'all buying her stuff is really spoiling her. The other side of that is my two smallest ones, they don't do nothing. And I don't really care. Because I don't really need them to help me do anything. If I gotta like sell something or hit a quick lick or whatever to make sure that my kids eat, then I'll do that before I call them and ask them for anything.
Did you say hit a quick trick? Did you say trick to make?
Okay.
Is that what I heard?
Make some quick money.
She definitely said that.
No, she said hit a lick. I'm messing. Shouts out to Nat D. Nat D is absolutely right. Why didn't she teach her sons the same thing she's trying to teach these baby mamas?
She said I was teaching them the whole time. The whole time when they was little, I would be like, don't be out here making a bunch of babies. And I was like, why don't we educate our children on sex enough, though? That's the question. Like, don't make babies is not enough of a sex education.
But do you think the education from home can compete with what they're getting every day from the world?
Absolutely, if you give them the game. Yes.
Yeah, I know, because I know people that get educated on that kind of thing, and they still out here doing what they want to do. I just think the world is stronger.
What do you mean by education? Because like
I don't agree that the world is stronger. The world wasn't stronger for me as a child. The world wasn't stronger with my kids that I'm raising. My kids, I raised my kids. What script? Just scripture, you know.
Raise them so they don't depart.
Thank you. Thank you. And they will not. Yes. So, oh my God, man, I was like, ooh, that scripture just ran out my head, didn't it? Let's see. But anyway, my point is, and I mean, of course, everybody's story is not the same, but we raised our children a certain way.
But that culture is strong, though, B.
And I'm not saying it ain't, but we see their friends do stuff, and we see them not participate.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff you don't see too.
I'm sure.
Like I put a post on Facebook the other day. I was like, do you think your parents know who you are as an adult? And then, you know, because you raise them, then they're adults and they do whatever they want. But then most people were saying, my parents didn't know who I was as a kid. So you raised them one way thinking that they have these values and they're instilled in them. The whole time your son's a whole hoe out here and you don't even know.
Grace of God must be on my family. My parents knew who I was as a kid. They knew who I am now. But I guess my little brother, no, they knew who he was, even though he was, they knew.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't think I don't think it's stronger. I think if you're honest with your kids, like keep it a stack with your kids. So I keep it a stack with my kids, probably to a fault. People, you know, a lot of people are like, wow, you keep it like real. Like I tell my kids everything. They know what their body parts were called when they were children. And Sydney, my oldest one, her parents are her family on her father's side. They're all Jamaicans, like traditional Jamaican people. So I would tell Sydney what her body parts are called, and they would be like, "Don't teach her that. Don't teach her that. She's gonna want to explore." And I was like, "Do you think she would explore it if I didn't tell her? Like." If she wants to explore, there's nothing I can do to really stop that aside from instilling in her, hey, don't dishonor your parts, right? But like, there's no amount of hiding information that's going to stop her curiosity. She's going to find it. We live in an information age. The kids will find it.
Okay. So on the level of saying that we live in an information age, I might be able to rock with you on that because I don't know. We can't even look at me, you, and us four here and say, because we didn't have the internet at our fingertips when we were kids.
That's true.
We had the internet. We didn't have it at our fingertips. We didn't have it with us everywhere we went. We had to go get to a computer, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? You know, so in that terms, maybe you're right on that. I remember as a child being aware yet not being aware.
What you mean?
It was weird. Like I was aware, but I wasn't aware.
Right.
That's the.
I mean, I look. You can explain that. I look. I mean, and tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I feel the same way. Where I knew stuff was going on, I knew stuff was happening, but like, so I was aware from that perspective that like the situation in Miami the first time. It was a shock to me that in real life there were girls who actually were like that, like who would like I could sleep with, and you don't even know my last name, and you're gonna let me have sex with you this first night. I met you for 3 hours, right? So I like in my head from watching TV, it was always like that never happens in real life. But then when I saw it happen in real life to somebody, like when that offer was made to me in real life, I'm like, yo, this stuff really happens, even though I was aware of it because I saw it, I heard of it. But it wasn't real to me because it never happened to me for real.
Yeah. So like I'm not going to describe. I don't think I'm going to explain this well. But I think what God said is definitely on par with what I'm saying. But I'm trying to explain it even more. Like I knew, but I didn't know. Right? So like I knew, but I didn't thirst. It's like I hadn't, there we go. I
Like head
hadn't
knowledge of
developed an
experience?
appetite, something like that. Like I hadn't developed an appetite for what I hadn't yet had.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's different. So when things started to go to other levels, I was like, oh, this is what this is. Oh my God. It didn't click. It didn't click. There we go. Orgasm didn't click. Oh, so this is what happened. Well, I remember sex said, this is what happens. Boom, 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 boom. But then when I got that first, oh, this is what happens. It's a whole nother level of awareness. But I never had a thirst for that or a taste or an appetite for it until I did. And the more you hear about it or the more you're told about it, I do believe it can increase the allure of. And it goes back to me slipping scriptures when they're telling the girls don't awaken love before it's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Where it's there, ooh, you might like the idea of it, but don't awaken that thing quite yet. And I don't believe that's just talking sex.
Right.
It's an awareness thing. You feel what I'm saying? But and don't get me wrong. And let me be clear. I do think it's extremely important for us to get to our kids before they get to before the culture gets to them, right?
Yeah.
So again, as I go back and say, we were not raised in a generation where we had the internet at our fingertips. They were. So it's really hard to say what's too soon, what's not, it's hard to say that because it's at their fingertips. I'm just, I'm glad I wasn't raised where my parents had to quickly be on me at a young age on, this is this is that, this is this. They didn't have to. But now I think like he is saying, I think they do have to be.
When did we start getting more information? Was it 90s?
I don't believe so.
Information become information?
Early 2000s.
When did information start being super sped to us?
It was smartphones, mid 2000s, when the internet was in our hands. That's when mid 2000s.
That's 04.
Yeah. 04, 05. iPhone don't come out to 07, but you still got the ATCs and the stuff like that in the 04, 05. Yeah.
Wait,
and then by the time iPhone dropped in 07. First iPhone dropped in 07. But when the iPhone dropped, game was over.
I was going to say Yahoo and AOL check. Charles said there was Yahoo and AOL.
There was. That was early. That was early 2000s, right? That was real early 2000s, right?
Doggy
99,
style.
2000, 2001.
Yeah.
John H said, "When did Doggy Style drop?" But you know what? That's why I couldn't listen to Snoop at that age. My parents wouldn't let me listen to Snoop at that age.
Yeah.
That Doggy Style album. But even and I'll say this though, John H.
That was 96.
But I'll say this, John H. Even understanding Doggy Style and seeing the dogs, and I'm looking at the album cover in my head, and whatever the case may be, still there was a level of unawareness I had. Still, ooh, Doggy Style. That's interesting.
Your parents gave you information. They spoke to you, like they weren't. They did not.
Not until I was. I'd say probably maybe when I'm 13 or 14.
How old were y'all when y'all's parents had to talk with y'all?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think my parents had to talk with me until I was probably 14 or 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say about the same age. And my mom, it was because I asked. It was about 15, I think.
I was probably a little young.
John is going in. But y'all said the Lord I kept you. John said the Lord guarded your eyes, so you were on a little bus.
And you know what? I do believe the Lord guards us from things. Like there were things that were done to me as a child sexually that still didn't awaken things to me. Didn't awaken. So you're right. I do. Some of that is definitely God's just grace on me. And I agree.
Yeah, definitely, man.
There you go. Yeah, that was what Charles said. The Manny joint. Yeah, I ain't got no horror story. God kept me. Sometimes you thought give him all the glory. But it wasn't until my first Yeah, my first, for lack of a better term, it's next week. My first bust is when eyes was open. I was like, oh, this? Oh, yes, I like to do this again. You know what I mean? But I didn't, that didn't happen for me until literally my senior year. My first bust wasn't until my senior year.
Yo, chill. All right.
Tastemakers after dark, right?
Nah, bro,
We
relax.
had sex at a junior high school for me though. I was in junior high school in like early 90s, and they definitely taught us sex ed in junior high.
That's what I'm saying. They taught it to us. And it's one thing to know it. It's another thing to be like, oh, this is what they were.
What's up, Inkap?
You know what I'm saying? So it's different. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, the moral of the story is parents, teach your kids about sex education, how their bodies work, and how to properly use their bodies now, so you ain't cursing out your son's baby mama on the internet for 24 straight minutes. That's the moral of the story.
Bang, 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 bang. Lost and found.
She even did that in the video. She was like, because of the few moments in it. And I was like, miss. Somebody's grandmama. It was a lot. Do not don't watch the video, guys.
I remember. Like, hold on. So is this a thing? Like, can we as grown Christian people have this conversation? Like, does everybody remember their first?
Yo,
I'm not having this conversation.
What is wrong with y'all?
Absolutely not.
We are not doing this.
Yo, y'all are too much, bro. How you want to have that conversation?
It's not. This is a special.
Maybe in the host chat, it's definitely not on YouTube.
It was special for me. Okay, it was special.
Yo, quote.
Okay. You gotta chill. Quote, you gotta chill. I'm gonna take Corey's word. You gotta chill. Quote.
Nobody wants to talk about that.
You gotta chill.
You gotta relax, bro. You gotta
relax. On to the next topic. In keeping with nasty.
Speaking of busting,
and there's so recently this pastor, she was devout pastor, like love guy, got pictures of her praying for people. She recently, I don't know if she's completed full apostasy, because Lil Nas X think he's saved too. I don't know if she completed full apostasy, but she has an OnlyFans now, and she says now that she is half naked on her OnlyFans, she feels closer to God more now than she ever has. Is there any clip or information around this, Brina?
Yeah, how she looks?
Yeah, I got a video. Lord.
Oh, this
transitions
is a black
into an OnlyFans content creator. 36-year-old Anna Akiva said she feels closer to God than ever, and she believes she can return to church in the future. Do you think this is an appropriate lifestyle change for a pastor? What are your thoughts, Al, as our resident churchgoer and religious person? Because
don't you love being the resident?
What do you think about this story?
I think these people better stop playing with God. That's what I think. But you know what? Every relationship with Christ can be different because it's personal. So it could be one way today and another way tomorrow, because she has the ability to repent and ask for forgiveness. I don't like these type of stories, though. It feels like that's making mockery of the church, and it's also saying or pointing in that direction that you and Q often reference, which is the corruption and how sometimes the church house could be worse than the actual streets. But in her case, baby, do what you have to do. Understand that you have to pay for it. In the end, you have to repent. You have to ask for forgiveness. But it sounds like to me that she needs the money. And if she needs the money and she's allowing money to trump her faith, and this is what she has to do, then this is what she has to do.
Is that alliteration? Is that what it is? What Charles got going on there?
Yes. Pastor P popping on the handstand. Listen, how do we feel about this? First of all, this
is why we can't let y'all pick topics. This is why.
Okay, so
John, that's foul. You don't know that. You don't know if Al anyway.
It was the fact that Al had more sense than a lot of the believers. Anyway, how do y'all feel about this pastor who has now opened up an OnlyFans? It's probably banking easy 6 figures. I can tell. I looked at her old picture and this recent picture, and she done got jaw fillers and lip fillers since then. Like, she done switched up her body. I mean, I get it because you're on OnlyFans. You gotta portray the fantasy. But like, how do we what do y'all?
Bro, why is this a topic? I don't get it. What do you mean? How do we feel? You know how we feel. Nobody's gonna agree with this on this podcast.
Listen, some people think that you can split the two.
Well, this some on this podcast, we all gonna agree how we feel. I can guarantee this. 100%, 10 out of 10, we're all gonna disagree with this.
So the question becomes, can your job be different from how you make money being different from, it's an age-old story.
Can you have a job that challenges? Can you have a job that looks like it challenges your faith? Like, could you be?
Yeah,
she got a BBL on her face. So hold on.
This is sinful.
Let's hold on. So is she? There's a lot of busting on this show. Is she getting busted wide open, like on OnlyFans?
Are y'all serious right now? Like, are we really having this conversation?
I'm saying, what is going on? I don't know what's going on. Maybe she's in a bikini reading scriptures. Is there anything wrong with that?
Yes.
Everything is wrong with that.
Is there?
Yeah.
Flee youthful lust.
We can't be on the beach. I could be on the beach. There could be a Bible study on the beach and people be in bikinis.
Topic, yo. Quotes playing.
That's not.
Quotes playing, yo. Quotes not.
So we can only see skin on the beach. Is that what it is?
Yo,
only see skin on the pool.
I'm out of this topic.
We can't see skin in the Bible, buddy.
So the question is, because she says she feels closer to God now than more than she's ever felt. Like, she feels closer more now as an OnlyFans actor, I guess, than she did as a pastor. And I get it's perspective.
And in the last days, people will do.
Is this what burnout looks like? Is this what burnout looks like for your pastor?
That is straight delusion.
This is why we got to raise the tiers for people that can talk about, the people that can vote on the topics we talk about. There's no reason why they should be a topic.
Who voted on this topic? I voted on this topic. And
could you be a Christian bartender?
5 other people did. Could you?
I'll say
OnlyFans and bartending is 2 different things.
Okay, you should. What is she doing on the OnlyFans? Is she getting broke like on the OnlyFans?
I don't think that matters.
Like, OnlyFans is really just a paywall. That's all it is. There are people on OnlyFans who are not stripping, not getting, stuff. There's not everybody on OnlyFans ain't having sex. Let's be clear about that.
I don't think nobody on OnlyFans has sex.
No, they don't have sex, but they do be.
Yeah, you can't have sex on OnlyFans. You kind of do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not porn.
I mean, I don't know. I guess not. I don't know.
He said Christians own Uncle Nearest Whiskey. Is it a sin to own a whiskey company? Is it a sin to own an alcohol company?
As Uncle Nearest Whiskey.
Bro, we not gonna act like this is the same thing. Are y'all serious right now?
We're just asking questions, Corey.
We're literally just asking questions. I don't know what she's doing on these OnlyFans.
So can you be a Christian and a bottle girl?
Can you, Cross?
I'm asking these questions because these are questions that I've had to answer. These are questions I've had to siphon with young women. Can I be a bottle girl and a Christian? Can I be a dancer and a Christian?
Judon, exactly. I don't do the whole skin thing. The skin thing don't ever really bother me because it's ultimately how we were meant to be.
Fam, if you saying you close with God, if you saying that you're this born again Christian, and you say she's a pastor too, right?
She was.
And she was a pastor of a church, which means she's leading people, which means she has influence, which means that it's very possible that she could be leading these people in a wrong
to get bucket naked.
That too, and putting them in the wrong direction, and they're gonna say stuff like, "Well, if that's okay, then I can do this." There's no limit if we allow stuff like this and don't have a standard. There's no limit to what we can't do. This is why we have a lot of stuff, a lot of foolishness that happens in church, even now, because nobody wants to have a standard. Nobody wants to have a rule. Everybody wants to do what they want to do and then put the Bible on it and say, why can't I do this? And because we live in the era of there's no rules right now anymore, this is why it's okay. This is why this is even a conversation. If this was back in the day, not even back in the day, this was 10 years ago, there would be no conversation. And this is another reason why the church looks weak right now, is because there's no rules no more. Because when that pendulum swings from super, super conservative, can't do nothing, rules, Jesus, and your raps, boom, 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 and then you swing back over here. We're never in the place where we're in the middle and have no balance. So now we're in an era with this representation of no balance, and we're having a conversation about something that we all know is wrong. This is stupid.
Again, I don't know what she's doing on OnlyFans.
Quote, shut up. Shut up.
I don't.
Shut up.
I don't know what she's doing on OnlyFans. I don't want to come at this chick, and I don't know what she's doing on OnlyFans.
All right, Joe. Next topic. Y'all got
it. Well, on that note, speaking of standards, right? Let's talk about the double standards in dating, right? So, of course, we talked about dating and how we don't like when men groom young women. There are a lot of men who prefer to date women who are 10 and 12 and 15 years younger than them, and we call that grooming. But is it frowned upon in the same way when women do it to young men? Brina, do you have that clip?
Yep.
But I'm into little boys that are about 17. I don't know why, but they put up a fight, and hot damn that excites the MC like. Cause yo, I love a young buck. They give a fun but once in a while they become love struck. But that's okay though, cause I can handle them. I love young boys on the brink of being young men. I mold them, shape them, make them, then I break them in. They get the job done, I make them get the job done well. Swell, make them kiss and tell all of their friends around the neighborhood that Lyte is good, soul food good. So tell me honey, are you ready to score? Again I'll ask, what are you too young for?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like an old song? It's gotta be old.
She wrote that song in 91. She was 21 talking about dating boys who were 17. She wrote that song back in 91 because Lyte is 53 right now.
Have they asked her about this?
I don't know if they've asked her about this, but this is absolutely insane. So as a person who was a former fan of Lyte, because hearing this, I'm like, oh, this is wild problematic. Like I can't rock with you no more.
Right.
Because I don't know if
Hold on, so you gave up on Lyte because of what she wrote when she was
unless
21?
She tells us that she's saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and fire baptized. I don't know that residuals the same way with Kells, the same way with Cosby. Like I don't know that it's not still there.
What about Puff?
Absolutely not. So I'm not. I don't know that it's not still there. I don't know that it's not still there. So for me, the crazy part is her and the most problematic sister to date, Miss Jada Pinkett Smith, are like this, and Jada is notorious for breaking young boys in.
For real?
Yeah, there was a story running around. Dude from Crisscross, before he passed away, one day he was in the crib and he was chilling at his house, and there was a knock at the door, and he was like, "Oh guys, it's Jada. Like, stay here." He was like, "I'll give y'all weed. Just stay here." So apparently Jada came knocking because she was trying to break old boy. He was like 14 at the time.
Oh,
Jada was a grown woman. And so apparently this August Alsina situation is not the first of these situations of her kind. And apparently this may be some sort of underlying culture that nobody knew about, where older women are getting young boys, like underage boys, and breaking them in. The lyrics is mad problematic. Like, she likes when they put up a fight. It excites her. That sounds grapey. That sounds mad grapey coming from a chick. And so is there a double standard? Do we find this to be as grotesque when it comes from women as we do when it comes from men?
No. There is a double standard, but we don't find it as grotesque. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you. Just like I think I'll be the first one to be like, if my wife liked girls, I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, word.
How do you go from what you said 10 minutes ago to this? Okay, continue.
Because this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
And for the record, it wasn't even 10 minutes ago.
Right. I was like, how do you go from the sermon you preached 10 minutes ago to this?
Holiness or hell. But if my wife like girls.
I was like, okay, I'm not crazy, right? Like, I'm not.
But if my wife like girls, hey.
Continue, Corey.
No, hold on, shit.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
No, you make on surface it sounds like a good point. So I see why
I'm joking. I'm literally joking.
So no, what I'm saying is though, I think for men, it's because we have the dominance in culture the way that we do, and this is quote unquote a man's world, and we're the protectors and we're the providers, and the way that we're looked at. If we are pursuing a younger girl, that sounds weird and sounds like, yo, why would you do this? But because I think there's no dominance when it comes to women over men, it's like, oh, that's cute. Like it's not like you should stop doing that. That's wrong.
That's where I'm at, Charles.
it's that whole thing of like it's just different rules for men and women. And I brought up the whole thing about well, never mind. But yeah, it's just different for men and women, I feel like.
Charles, can y'all break down what it's wild for society to apply 2023 social norms to 1980s
and
1980s? What does that
to,
mean?
to an extent, yeah, I agree with this. What for one, Lyte got away with this the same reason a lot of comedians get away with a lot of stuff that comedians get away with, from talking about stuff that happened in the 80s and the 90s and talking about it. The things people said then that they can't say now in 2023 because we're a little bit more enlightened. I'll refrain from using the word woke because the term is often manipulated and misconstrued. So enlightened, right? So we're a little bit more enlightened. So we don't. We see things different. I am still of the thought process 2117. That's 4 years.
Could your 17-year-old son date a 21-year-old woman?
That's a great question, Key. He'll be 18 in 2 weeks. And my thought process is,
girl home right now, would you be okay with it?
Well, hold on.
I thought he'd be 18 in 2 weeks, and if he brought a 21-year-old girl home,
that's tough.
I'm scoping her. Like I'm scoping her. Like what's going on here. But I'm not bewildered. She got my extra attention. She do got my extra attention though.
So if your 17-year-old daughter brings a 21-year-old man home, are you looking sideways at him?
But I think that involves a daddy's girl situation too, though.
So I'm trying to take the daddy's girl situation out of it. So the truth of the matter is, I'm trying to find out who these human beings are, no matter what age they are. Because in my opinion, once you get to be 17, 18 years old, I mean, the game is different. And we have to sometimes realize that we are putting American standards on certain things. Like what makes 18 grown and what makes 17 not grown.
Oh, okay.
What makes 18 grown? I don't consider 18 to be grown.
But America does.
But America does. And if an 18-year-old is dating a 21-year-old, most people do not bat an eye. If an 18-year-old is dating a 21-year-old, most people do not bat an eye. Drop that one year down, and that 17-year-old is now dropping to 20-year-olds, and people are up in arms.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this kind of stuff doesn't have to be paid attention to. I'm not saying that. And I think John H. has a good point there. A lot of this is just more so legal stuff, right? But these are westernized American legal stuff that doesn't even fly globally necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't even necessarily fly globally. So because I am American and because I have been washed in this way of thinking, I'm like, that's a little fishy. But I don't know that everybody sees it like that. I don't think that globally it's seen like that.
Now, what age do you think there's a difference? Like, what age is the difference? If there's no difference, because I low-key agree with you. I don't think there's a difference between 17 and 18, other than now you're legal. But you're still thinking the same. You probably still look the same. You probably still
your brain still ain't fully developed.
Right.
So neither is the 21-year-olds.
So what age is the difference? What age is the difference then? Because like now, like I understand why a Marcus Houston situation is dangerous, because he could be talking
so
crazy.
I think when we had this conversation, I didn't fully
that part.
Oh yeah, okay, I did. When we say teenagers, how young we talking? R. Kelly. So I don't know. Different people develop at different ways, and it's actually getting more murky, whether or not y'all realize it or not. Yeah. Like the early 20-year-olds are having the same social cues as the 16-year-olds. Like they're not socially any more mature.
That's like post-pandemic. The pandemic stunted a lot of people.
You could say, yeah. I mean, I could rock with that being post-pandemic. I mean, but I mean, we're about to go into 4 years of post-pandemic. You know, what I mean, 3, 4 years. But yeah, so I don't. It's hard. Like I said, I think ultimately I'm looking for people and their character. I think it's more case by case than we try to let it be. I look at Marcus Houston, and if I remember correctly, I remember arguing on a little bit. I remember leaning to Marcus Houston's side a little bit in the conversation we were having that time when y'all were going crazy about the Marcus Houston thing. But then I do look, and I have to look at my eyes and say, no, that's not true. Think. Okay, because so my brain right now thinks and says, what can a 21-year-old girl do for me? Right? That's what my brain says right now at my age. It does. But low key, I be feeling like a dirty old man looking at Chloe Bailey. Like, she 23 and I be like, dang, little girl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she 23-year-olds. Now, ultimately, I don't think she can do nothing for me. But if I was out in the world, she could get it. You feel what I'm saying?
See, this is interesting because I had this conversation with a lot of people, because if I do get married, I could see myself dating a 20
marrying younger. Yeah,
but like, but I always give them comparison. Like, we don't blink an eye when these celebrities' wives be like men celebrities when their wives be younger, because in that world that's accepted there. Like, not too crazy young, like Marcus and his wife. I'm talking about like, if like Future, who's like 37, 38, was dating a 26 or 25-year-old, 24 even, you wouldn't like. Lori Harvey's young.
Oh, ain't Future 40 something now?
Future's old.
Yeah,
but like,
I don't know.
But like these
I've
women
always
are
liked
young,
older
right?
women, so it's hard for me.
And like, my defense is always, I'm not saying I'm a celebrity at all, but on a smaller scale, I live that kind of lifestyle where I'm around women who are younger than me, right? And the stage of life that I'm in, I move around a lot like I'm a 25-year-old, like I'm a 24-year-old. So I don't think anybody would blink an eye if I dated a girl that they would consider extremely younger than me. But now I do have my limits as far as like the youngest I will go, but it's not a thing of like I don't think people would judge me the same way that they would judge this situation right here.
Well, for one, you don't necessarily look your age, which works for you. You don't always act your age, which works for you. So if you end up marrying a girl in her mid to late 20s, I'm not really gonna blink an eye at that as well. I think it's really kind of, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like we're a lot hard and fast on this stuff than we need to be. I've always dated older women. I almost married a chick that was 13 years older than me.
Dang.
13-year-old older than my senior. Because I've always dated older women. It just felt like more of a connection there. You know what I'm saying?
I got tricked though. My baby daddy is my baby daddy for my youngest two is 11 years my junior, but I didn't know he was 11 years my junior because he lied. Like Charles said, I lied to this guy. Like, I didn't tell this girl my age. This man lied to me. I didn't find out how old he was. By the time I found out I was already pregnant with my son, I was like, wait, how old are you again? And he didn't even tell me. I found out on Facebook. It was crazy. My thing is though, like, Judon said something about do the math on your family, you might be surprised. My grandmother is 9 years younger than my grandfather. My grandmother's still alive, my grandfather's not. She was 9 years younger, right? And so for me, that's like, yuck. That means like what, 20 and 29? What do y'all have in common at 20 and 29, right? Like, he's about to be 30 and you're not even fully legal yet, right? And so I'm listening to Lyte's, but Lyte's joint sounds mad problematic because it sounds like she sounds like
I feel like it's this
predatory.
It's this. I hear you, but I feel like that's the same kind of. I feel like men were making that music too.
I mean, it's all problematic.
Seems like you're ready, and that's just not
we didn't
Kelly.
Know who was talking to, but see, we didn't.
But
know
that
he
wasn't
was
just Kelly.
to.
That was Q Sweat, wasn't it?
No, that was R. Kelly.
That was
Kells, right?
That was Kells.
To go all the way.
That was Kells.
Was that? That was Kells. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't know he was talking. He wasn't saying Like Lyte explicitly says, I like 17-year-olds. Like I was like,
yeah, it was R. Kelly all day. Yeah, that was 12 play all day long. You're right.
It was like we didn't know he was talking about kids, like the general public. Now the industry knew he was problematic, but the general public didn't know he was that dude until that video came out with him with all them little girls, and that was probably back in the early O's, and we was like, Kel's been talking to kids this whole time. Like we had I guess we had an inkling because of the Aaliyah situation. But Aaliyah's mama kind of signed her over, you know what I mean? Like low key. And so I don't know. It just sounds, for me, I've never heard a woman talk this openly. And for me as a woman, it feels a little more grotesque. Because I feel like women should be a little more nurturing and a lot less predatory.
Oh, so she was nurturing.
Gross.
She was teaching them all the good stuff. Teacher, he was the student. There was a lot of learning going on.
Brina, what you think? Because maybe I'm the only girl who thinks this is disgusting.
Of course, it's disgusting. To explicitly state like you prefer these young boys these are children, and yeah, like it's crazy. I don't know. I just kind of feel like back then, you know, the artists could say things because they could. There was no getting canceled back then. But still, you know, if you're a grown woman and you are seeking out young boys just because you want to mold them into what you want them to be, that sounds like raising a child, and it's just that's a no.
It's low key a badge of honor for the guys, though. That's why all these teachers be smashing their students. Like, we'll get dapped for that. Like, yo,
so it's a badge of honor for us. It's so,
which
is weird as well, but it so is a badge of honor for us.
We don't care.
And yeah, I was
like, if you a dude, you got teachers that you're like, yo, Miss what's name is bad, like, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you wouldn't even think twice about if she offered it. If you was like about that life, you would definitely do it.
Yeah, if you was about that, like I said, I think of how many things keep me because I was saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, and God was looking out. You feel what I'm saying? It'd be a whole nother ball game if I weren't saved. I'd have kids out there in the wind. You feel me?
Thanks.
I mean, that's just it's just a different ball game. So, 2117 female guy. That's not. Had Lyte talked about 2114? I'd have been like, okay, that's a little weird. It's just that 17, 18 age when she's still young, right? She's still 21. We're not talking 30, 17. We're not talking 27, 26, 25. We're talking about a 21-year-old person and a 17-year-old guy or girl. I think it's a lot closer than we are. I think it's a lot closer than, that's just my thought.
Yeah. I'm looking at these comments. Charles, your school was wild, bro.
One of my high school teachers was
homegirl's mom slept with one of the homies and groomed him, and then they started dating. One of my high school teachers was fresh out of college, smashing 4 to 5 members of the basketball team. It was wild when I called her coming out of the next door neighbor. What kind of school did you go to, Charles? Where did you go to school, my guy?
High school could get weird, especially with the substitute teachers.
I mean, it can. I
remember blackmailing a substitute teacher. Like, I had something on you. Like, like for real. Like, things could get weird.
Junard said, I used to say if she's old enough to go to prison, she's old enough to get it. I don't know what that means. Like, understand get it or like get it. Okay. I don't know that I want you to clarify that. Anyway,
I think he's definitely talking about get it. But what is old enough to go to prison though? Ain't that 18? Prison 18, right?
Prison is 18, ain't it?
Yeah. So
you can try it as an adult at 18.
Well, they like.
Yeah, no, I just don't. The lyrics in and of themselves just sound mad problematic. Like, she's like, I like to break them, and they smash, they hit better. Like I'm like,
hold on, did she say something about somebody putting up a fight? Did she say that?
Yes, she's like, they put up a fight, and I like that because it excites me, and I like to like break them in. I was like, yo, this sounds
like
wild. Yep. This is grape of boys, like little boys. Why don't we? For me, that's like, why don't we? But yes,
there's a double standard.
Raping little boys as serious.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't know that I want to. It's hard for me to call the 21, 17. I mean, legally, yes, legally, very much so it is. So listen. So I was. How old was I? I want to say when I was around 10, I was molested by a 14-year-old chick. Like Goss said earlier, it was like low key. It was like a badge of honor. Low key, I didn't know what I was doing anyway, so I did not care.
That's crazy.
You feel what I'm saying? Where if you flip that, and a guy is 14 and a little girl is 10.
Oh man,
That's horrible. You feel what I'm saying? So there's a double standard, whether or not we like to admit it or not. There's a double standard somehow, some way in there. There is. And it's societal. It's got to be societal and cultural. It's the way that we're trained in our cultures to accept certain things. And the only reason I say that is because we know we can all go back to arranged marriages and how things were being done hundreds of years ago, and it would be nothing or even thousands of years ago, let's say, it'd be nothing for a 13, 14-year-old girl to be with a, 19, 20-year-old, and it'd be arranged, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying, I'm just thinking everything isn't as black and white, especially when you start that 17, 21 thing is kind of, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it because again, I do believe, and again, right or wrong, I believe we're going to see a lot more of it because the socializing is the way these people socialize and deal with each other and the, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it's
erosion?
Just, huh?
The erosion of society.
Yeah, well, theoretically, yes, but just the people not being able to socialize themselves. Socialize. I'm sorry, my words are all jacked up tonight. But people not being able to talk and deal and have social. It's that age range is becoming like this. Like young adults are becoming teens. You know what I mean? Like it's different.
If my son could never, I'm just saying, my son is only 8 right now. If my son was 17 and walked in with a 21-year-old woman, I would be like, hey, sweetie, I'm going to call you an Uber because you can't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. I'm with you. I'm with you that's what would happen at 17. But literally, as somebody who literally has a 17-year-old who will be 18 in 2 weeks, I literally would look at homegirl and be like, interesting, and come back in a couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, like maybe in 2 weeks y'all can talk. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean?
No, I don't listen to KRS either, Lost and Found. After I heard how he talked about Roxanne Shante, she was like 15 when he was talking crazy about her. And I was like, yuck. And so, no, and I know LL is also problematic. LL is problematic, though, because he was literally like pouring chocolate syrup on chicks' knees out in public. Like, it was just wild. Like, LL was mad. Like, his videos was crazy. But I didn't realize about the KRS joint until I saw the Women in Hip Hop. And I heard how he was talking about Roxanne Shante as a child. And I was like,
I don't know about that. What did he say? What did he do with Roxanne?
He was basically like, she did, that whole diss track back and forth. He was basically like how he was going like bust on her or bust in her face or something. It was crazy. He was talking so disrespectfully. And I was like, was she not 15? Did he not know that he had to know she was a child. I'm gonna see if I can find the actual quote in like the actual lyrics because it was on the Women in Hip Hop joint. And I was like, yo, it was so disrespectful the way he was talking about her. And she was a kid then. And you could, even when she was talking about it, you could see the pain in her face about how an adult male would talk about her in this manner. He talked about her like she was just some grown old like prostitute in the street. Dang. Right. That's what he said for her. Roxanne Shante is only good for that. He said that on a track about her.
Wow.
And she was a kid when he said that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And again, no, chat, we're a lot of these conversations. So especially when I'm speaking, guys, I'm taking my and it's kind of weird to say, I'm taking my Christian hat off and I'm trying to think of it like if I wasn't saved, how would I respond to certain things? You feel what I'm saying? And how would I see certain things? I still feel like the 21, 17-year-old, saved or not, could be a little. Yeah. I mean, it's peculiar, but it's like just maybe give it a year. But what does a year make? What difference does it make? I don't know.
I just started dating older dudes. John H said I remember 21-year-olds pulling up on the girls at my high school. They were all either predators or low.
Yeah,
I didn't date out of my age until I was legal.
I remember that too. I do remember that too. That dudes. But I felt like, I don't know about 21. I feel like we was 17, 18, and I might be trying to get with a girl, and some dude that's 19, 20 is with her, or trying to get her too. You know what I mean? Like, but you know what? I don't know. That's still a very close age range to me.
Yeah, it is, because you can be in college and be 17, and a 21-year-old be a senior or a junior, and you be a freshman.
That's facts.
So that's all free game to me. If you in college, you in college.
So I mean, listen. I mean, what God said is very it. Like, you could be at 17 years old. I was a freshman in college. If I'm out on the yard and me and this senior get to vibing, is it out of line?
I don't think so.
21, 17. That's what it is. It's literally that.
Are we equating education to wisdom at this point? Is that because that's what this feels like now?
No. None of this are we dropping wisdom. None of this to me has anything to do with
17-year-old that may have education, but they don't have experiential knowledge, which is essentially wisdom.
So what do we do about this?
None of this has anything to do with wisdom. I've not brought wisdom has not been invited into this conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, theoretically, you feel what I'm saying? We're talking kids.
And are we only saying this from a legal standpoint, or is it like other stuff too? Something about
legally. No. I think legally this is problematic. Legally.
Legally, yeah, for sure. Because I'm thinking Aaron and his wife she's older, and Aaron's like 22.
Yeah.
She's like 28, 29.
Oh, I mean.
Well, 22 is 22 is 22 and 29.
Your brain is not fully developed to what you're 25.
No, yeah. I mean, I agree.
For men, it's like 30-something.
22-year-old, but that's again. When I was 21, this dude who was 29 was trying to holler at me, and for me, 29 was just too far, and if it was too far ahead for me, I was like, that's a bit much. I can't do that much older because you're a grown man, and I'm not yet I'm growing, but I'm not grown. So for me, 29 was too old when I was 21.
I know what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, I know you're young, but you're ready. That's Keith Sweat. I know you're young, but you're ready.
Still extremely problematic, yeah.
But it was number one on the Billboard, Chad, too.
Of course it is, because we grew up in a grapey culture. So anyway, can we all? Well, okay. So the question is, yes, there is a double standard.
Hell yeah, there's a double standard. That's the first. It was like all the way out of my mouth, and I was like, oh, I'm about to drop a hell bomb. Yeah, hell yeah, it's a double standard. No, it's a double standard. It's a double standard.
A 17-year-old could never, and I would have a fit. So yeah, I don't even know how to segue into the next topic behind this. Are there any final thoughts regarding this? Because this is, I mean, I'm just
only thing I got is I hope that there are parents involved in these kind of conversations or ideals or whatever the case may be. Like, again, going back to my 17-year-old, if a 21-year-old was trying to holler, I'm all in my 17-year-old's life. Mm-hmm. I'm going to know what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm going to be like, yo, come back in 2 weeks. No, but I'm still going to be watching her like a hawk. Like I'll be watching her like a hawk. Like, what?
Will you have the same energy for your baby girl?
Probably not. But that's, again, double standard. We called it from the get, didn't we?
Yeah, that's life in general. That's the world we live in.
It's a double standard. It's a double standard. But honestly, if my daughter was 17 years old, and if I met, especially in this age where they don't socialize, I met a 21-year-old, that whatever, and especially if I like knew his parents or something like that, like depending on who the kid was and what I knew about the kid, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Are women more sensitive about this stuff than guys in general?
Clearly. Clearly.
Probably so.
Yeah. Look, no. Okay, well, listen. Let's be very clear. None of us want anybody to be raped. None of us want anybody to be forced to do anything they don't want to do. Period. Let's get that out the way. Nobody is looking. None of us want anybody to be groomed, or whatever the case may be. That's not, none of us want any of that. But certain age ranges are very close, especially when I look at the 1721 thing, because that literally is freshman in college versus senior in college. They're literally in the same social construct. And Tasha makes a great point. One of the reasons why this is more the double standard is because women are more vulnerable to the threat of sexual assault. That's key. That's a very key point to the whole situation. I'm not saying that doesn't mean that boys don't get taken advantage of, that men don't get taken advantage of, but women are a little bit more vulnerable to it. And we've even psychologically, man, I got no words tonight. We've even messed it up enough that even if, quote unquote, a 16-year-old boy is, quote unquote, taken advantage of by his 23 to 25-year-old teacher, even the boy doesn't feel victimized. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some situations where he would or could.
Because I wanted to kiss my English teacher in the mouth, and I was 16, and she was like 28.
And I think I might be able to think of some teachers where I might have been in that.
Shout out Miss Baldwin.
So I think that's a key thing. I think what Tasha said is a very key thing. The vulnerability of it all is important. We should be protecting young girls and young boys, but in this particular situation, the threat is more so going to be on the young ladies. The guys are not going to necessarily, I'm not saying every situation, but the guys are mostly not going to see themselves as victims in this situation. Does that make sense? The guys are going to see themselves as conquerors of sorts. Look what I did. Whether it's stupid or not, whether it's wisdom or not, that's how it's going to be viewed a different way, even by the individual having the same thing done to them. Now, to me, that has to be societal conditioning, right? Or no?
More or less.
Or it is just a level of sex. Or we have to, or we have to do what the world doesn't want you to do in 2023. We have to say men and women are just different. That we're really different.
You're breaking we're up. Not different. Maybe the world, but the church.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The world. I said the world. I didn't say the church. Yeah. The world wants to try to think men and women are the same.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, the church realizes that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, with that being said.
Yeah. Well, hold on. And I want to make sure.
Did we go into the comment?
Now, I want to make sure, because John H. just said sin is sin. Ain't nobody sinned yet in this conversation, have we? We ain't talking about nobody getting bust down, did we? MC Lyte was. But I don't think we were. Were we? Necessarily?
We were talking about, is it problematic?
I don't think we were talking about sex, necessarily. I think we were talking about dating. Okay, I think most of that conversation, I was definitely talking about dating. For most of that conversation.
But is a 21-year-old woman just dating a 17-year-old boy?
That's a good question.
No. And Goss can come in on this or not, or whatever the case may be. No, this generation is not having sex like we did when we were their age. They're not having sex like we
That's
were
what the
when we
stats
were
say.
their age.
Stats do say that.
That's what the stats say.
stats-
That's what
the
the
stats
that's
say
what the pregnancies say and everything.
Yeah.
They weren't. They're not doing it like we were.
Is a 21-year-old woman just going to Chick-fil-A with a 17-year-old boy?
I ain't saying they ain't slobbing down. I ain't saying they ain't making out. I don't know what they doing. I'm just saying I don't think they having sex.
Lyte was talking about breaking little boys in.
Lyte is from another generation. She's more so she's our generation or a little bit, she's older than us.
So are you saying that mindset has not made its way into 2023?
Not that the mindset in itself is, it's different. These cats aren't socially as we were. We were doing things they are not. We were getting pregnant. They are not.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now.
This is stats.
If my son is 17 and you are over 18, don't even think about it. I, like Charles, have a particular set of skills, and you don't want no smoke with me. Period. I'm just saying that right now. Period. You cannot date my
John, how am I sounding? Wow, I'm just talking stats.
You cannot date my 17-year-old son if you are over 18. Period.
You know what?
We talk.
Just real quick. I was thinking about. I just remembered. Like I saw this old clip from divorce court. It was super old. I don't know how old it was, but it was this woman who was in her 40s. Maybe she was like in her mid 20s, but she was dating this boy who was like 14, and they eventually got married. One of her complaints was that he couldn't financially provide for her. He was like, there weren't too many jobs I could get because I wasn't old enough, and I didn't have my high school diploma yet. So it was like the expectation of a grown woman expecting a young boy to be a grown man. That's a weird mental complex. And going through that whole, extreme, adults are adults and children are children. And in each generation, it may have a different definition. Like, 1,000 years ago, relationships were different. Those relationships are different now, but it's like the perception is, what kind of conversation could I have with a 14-year-old boy? There's nothing we would have in common. And I think it would be strange to have that type of attraction for a child. Like, so I think that's just kind of like, I just thought about that clip because he was, you could tell in his voice, like he sounded like he was traumatized. And it was like, he was saying like, well, she took my childhood. I couldn't really go out and hang out with my friends as much because at 14, he's now part of a family dynamic because he's helping her raise her children. He's getting them ready for school. She was like 25.
No.
He was 14.
No.
So like, that's the extreme, but still, it's still weird. Even if they're just dating, but it's still weird.
That's wild.
So,
that's wild. I think John H, that's a good point. The not getting pregnant argument, because they are not getting pregnant, and it's definitely a different. They are not. Yes, they are definitely not getting pregnant at the rate teen pregnancies like we were. Access to contraceptives could have something to do with that. That's very true. But the numbers, and again, I know research. The numbers are saying they are not having sex, not just the pregnancies, but they are not having sex as much as we did at that age, our generation per se. But that's But anyway, nope. There's actually two. But let me see which one is. What is this? what is this Christian BBLs thing? Like, what is that?
Grab that. It was basically so the Christian. So we're switching topics now, guys. We're talking behind the scenes. My bad. It does sound crazy, but whatever.
John said, "Who ain't having sex?" God, I know. They not, bro. The stats show that they not.
It's true.
So listen. I work with teens and young adults. Goss, you work with teens.
I used to, but I be around them still.
Yeah, they're not as active as
we
our
were.
generation was at that age. They too busy on their phones. They're not even in the same places as much as we are. They don't be going out as much as we did. Do you feel what I'm saying? They be at home on their phones. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even as much. Like this generation turned 16 and don't even be trying to get their license.
They all depressed.
That was the case with my child. My child, as soon as she turned 16, was like, "Can we drive?" I was like, "No."
Yeah. I mean, and my son. I mean, about a year later or so, he was on the same. But a lot of them, like we was prepping at like 15. I got my permit. We was trying to be out. That's not necessarily who they are.
It's outside costs $350.
And of course, guys, and of course, we're generalizing, right? Like, obviously, none of this is 100% one way or the other. It's just seemingly the numbers would show that this stuff is down from how we were when we were in their age. That's all I'm saying. But back, just the quick brief of the Christian BBLs.
So basically, this girl, this influencer on social media got a BBL. Well, she called it a Christian BBL, but essentially what she got was a 360 lipo, and then she got the fat pulled out of her whole waistline and then put in her hips. And basically, it was a bunch of Christians in her comments telling her how she didn't love herself, how she was dishonoring God, how Jesus didn't, Jesus basically didn't die for her to alter her body, that she was unique and wonderful. They started throwing all the scriptures at her, telling her how horrible she is for getting this work done. And she's had extensive work done. She got veneers on her teeth. She got a BBL. Not BBL. She got a Christian BBL, which is really just, like I said, the fat transfer from one part of her body to another. But apparently, it's taboo in the Christian community to get surgery done on your body, which I did not know. I did not know that Christians have an issue getting work done on your body.
It is taboo now. I will is actually, you know what? I say the word is. It was taboo. I don't know that it is taboo anymore, but it was. I remember when Joyce Myers first got her situations together. People were all over her.
Joyce Myers got a BBL?
No. No. They got a face.
That's the clip.
That would have been so funny.
I'm be like, what do you mean?
That is definitely it right there.
That would have been funny. No, she got a facelift.
Yeah, she had a facelift, and people were all over her with that. Yeah, I mean, it was that. And there's a possibility. I mean, I can't verify it, but there was a possibility that well, anyway, who cares? I'm gonna stop doing whatever. We know that Joyce had some work done.
Yeah.
Yes, at one point in time, Christians were very against this. I don't see it anymore, but I guess in this comment section, it was like that.
Yeah, I don't.
What's the difference? And this might be a reach. What's the difference between getting work done and being transgender?
Because transgender is a reassignment. It's getting work done. Like, so if you get a BBL, or what she got, which is a Christian BBL, which is really just fat reassignment, right? It's just
okay. Before we answer Goss's question, Lost and Found says this well, and I'm right with him. Why is this called a Christian BBL?
I don't know why it's called that.
Called
She did a response video, I guess, to all of the comments that she was getting. She was basically saying it was just sarcasm. Like, she just labeled it that because she knew.
So she's the first person to say this. This isn't really something. It's
not a thing. It's not a thing.
All right. Back to what Goss is talking about.
Video?
Huh?
That little 4-minute video where she was basically being super sarcastic in the whole time.
Right.
Okay. So back to what Goss's question about what's the difference between the transgender.
Yeah, Tasha, I'll be watching Lincoln Lawyer. What's up?
Hilarious. I think the difference between getting work done and gender reassignment surgery says I don't want to be my gender anymore. I'm going to reassign myself a new gender. Getting lipo is not saying I don't want to be. It's just saying I don't want a big belly no more, or I want the fat in my belly moved somewhere else. It's not saying I'm denying. For me, in my mind, I'm denying the way God made me. I'm denying the gender that God made me, and I'm changing myself to a gender that I feel is more appropriate. I feel like that's a little bit worse than getting lipo.
I think that you're saying I don't like. Not saying that God gave you the fat or God gave you whatever, but you don't like what you have, so you're changing it. I feel like the principle is the same. And most people, not most people, but some people who do the transgender stuff, that's not the your reason that you gave is not always the reason why they changed their gender. So some people feel like women are pretty and they want to be pretty too. So, and men are ugly, so they want to be a woman now. And then why people get, their tummy tucks or whatever, because they don't feel like doing the work themselves and they can pay for it, then they're gonna do what they got to do. So that's why I just posed the question, because I just figured, there was no difference to me.
But those are fundamentally two different issues, no?
I think so. I think one has to do with identity. The other one has to do with.
I don't think
so.
I mean, they're both identity issues, but one is micro and one is macro. Like the transgender one is like, yeah, women are pretty, so I want to be one. That's not the same as I don't feel like going to the gym. I want to hit the express pass on this.
Okay.
Charles Brown says gender reassessment is a rejection of identity.
Reassignment.
He put rejection of it. He put reassignment. You did. I'm sorry. I can't read. Can't talk. Gender reassignment is a rejection of identity. Body augmentation is just that, is what he's saying. This is why folks falling away. No difference between believer and non-believer, other than the belief that Jesus existed. Yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, Scripture says that would be the case. What topic? What was said that? I guess what I'm trying. I'm not sure, because I know there's sometimes delay. What prompted that statement, John H? I'm just trying to keep up with you. Judah, the Bible specifically speaks against men presenting as women and women presenting as men. It doesn't say anything about getting them cheeks together.
Christians to be sarcastic, y'all. She was just being sarcastic to the Christians who were in her comments, because them Christians was hammering her. The original video. So the original video when she's post-op and she's maybe like a week, 2 weeks post-op, and she's in her spot and she's kind of chugging around the house, because you got to, after operation like that, you got all the tubes and you got to wear this thing to keep your body from swelling and the stitches from breaking and all kinds of stuff like that. The Christians was going in on her. Like if I scrolled down on the comments just to see what she was talking about, and they were going ham. You were perfect before. What's wrong with you? Why would you deny the way that God made you? There was nothing wrong with your body. I saw this coming as soon as you got your teeth done. Like it was like leave her. Like, is she bothering anyone? Is she bothering anyone by getting lipo? She's not. Who's she harming by getting lipo? What's the problem with lipo?
I'm trying to.
Let me come up with some racks. I'm tucking this tummy into my nostrils. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like,
you don't love yourself.
I absolutely love myself, and I want my dresses to fit nice.
Work out.
I could, but if I could get the express pass. Plus, I don't want everything small. I just want my stomach small. Like I don't want my legs to shrink. I don't want my boobs to shrink. I just want a flat stomach.
I hear you, young scrapper. I hear
you. I don't know. Maybe we have to have a body augmentation conversation one day, and whether Christians should and Christians that. I think I'm at the point where I don't. I think with everything has to be like careful, right? Because you can go overboard, and you can really, and it can be a thing of identity. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, if then that can be this. I mean, the same thing can be said about weaves. I mean, I'm wearing lashes right now. Does that make me deceptive? Like,
well, I mean, literally, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, Key, but again, in 2023, we do something that in the late 80s, early 90s was made fun of, and I don't want to get you sucker. It's a different world.
This is true. This is true. Lashes and nail you couldn't wear press on nails in the 90s. Now, baby, there's whole businesses specifically for press on nails.
So what was a running joke 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, is now the norm.
This is true. So, dudes are getting me BLs. That's wild. This is so wild.
Charles Brown, don't make me hop after you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I know we lost some people with the "I'm gonna get you sucker" reference, and for the rest of y'all showing y'all age.
Right.
For real.
No, I just if you got
Some people do get carried away, and the people that get carried away, I do think there's a level of counseling that has to be done with some of these surgeries. In my opinion, some people do get carried away.
I want to get these bags under my eyes. I probably get a facelift. So I got to stay young.
If your skin is still good.
I mean, not now. I'm talking about later on in life, like 10 years.
10 years from now, your skin won't be that terrible, guys. Unless you literally drink and party all day, every day for the next 10 years.
That's what I plan on doing. That's why I became a DJ.
Oh, wow.
Going to Miami every month.
Oh,
let's wrap up the last topic so we can get out of here.
Your mother. Let's grab you by the ear, man.
Let's talk about your boy Jonathan Majors, Key.
I bet. Final topic of the night. We're going to talk about Jonathan Majors. So back in the day, I know y'all remember Jonathan Majors got arrested for allegedly beating up his ex-girlfriend.
Beating that white woman? How dare he?
He was arrested for allegedly beating that white woman. The cops was called. She was in the house. They said she was beaten. She was bruised. He whooped up on her. How and ever, and we was crucifying John. Major labels was dropping him. Marvel dropped him. I mean, everybody was like, we're disassociating ourselves.
Marvel didn't drop him, but other people did drop him.
Okay, and directors was coming out saying how problematic he was to work with and how horrible of a person he was, and he's always been this way. Cut to 2023. In the last couple of months, last couple of weeks, a video has recently surfaced that maybe tells a different story. Do we have that video, Brandon?
We do.
There's no sound, by the way, for this video. Just watch the video closely.
Which vehicle are we looking at?
The first one on the in the, close to the yellow line, over the double solid line.
Okay.
Is this in New York?
It looked like it. Yeah, it is.
It's in New York.
He's walking away.
Wow.
You see him? She's chasing after him. He's trying to push her back in the car. Like, stay in the car. Leave me alone. Get off me. And then.
Yeah, like he's trying to get away from her.
This low-key is funny for me. Just for the record, I was low-key laughing the entire time.
Because it's funny. He's on his straight get out run. He's like, he's running and.
Yo, they got the cameras all the way. It's like a
cameras is everywhere. Cameras is everywhere, yo.
You want to get hit by a car to chase him.
John A. said it's the lethal weapon run sequence.
He's running for his life, yo.
Yes.
Bro, how long do they run?
Yo,
they going to run away from this girl. Why is it?
Yeah.
Nah, this run is crazy. What's she gonna do if she catch him? Like, I don't do it.
And he probably ducked off somewhere, so she can't find him now.
Ran right to Megan Good.
And good. Because I think Kim, because he doesn't want to be bothered. He's trying not to, he's trying to avoid confrontation. She looks confrontational. She's chasing him like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Hit. You telling her, stay over there, man. Don't come over here.
Yo, that's definitely the soundtrack, JR.
Now, here's a cut to the apartment the day he gets arrested.
That apartment's fire.
It is. I was looking at this joint like, hey, yo, this is dope.
It's the police body cam.
Mm-hmm. So the
only thing is, in this joint, they need to have the sound because this is when the cops was coercing the situation, telling her coaching her on what to say and different things of that nature.
Yeah.
Truthfully, this joint should have never went to trial, and all this evidence is like the cops are even like saying stuff on the stand now that is just like, then why did you arrest him? Then why did they go to trial? If this, that, and the third, it's like it's so weird.
When you tell him to come out.
Yeah.
See how he's trying to see if she's okay and checking.
He's the one that called the cops.
Wow.
He called the cops for her own to help her. They're finding out.
Now she just did a whole marathon run the day before. Now she can't move.
That's why she can't move.
So
you run a marathon, you be tired.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
like with the sunglasses on.
What?
A lot of this stuff is coming out that she kind of manipulated. Because she's on the stand talking about how she was afraid of him and all that stuff, kind of giving the whole big black angry man trope. But he was chasing after him. You don't chase after somebody you afraid of, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. And then they're showing in the text messages, she's texting and talking to a friend in London, like 30 minutes before the cops show up that morning. So she had set things up to fool him, to make it look like, I guess, that she was trying to harm herself so that he wouldn't leave. And but then I guess she dozed off, and when she woke up, she didn't expect to see a bunch of cops. She thought it was just going to be him. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's it's a mess. It's a mess.
So this video has surfaced, and now everybody is seeing. First of all, John was running for his life. You hear me? That man ran for blocks. New York City blocks are not regular blocks, for the record, guys. New York City blocks in Manhattan are 2 regular blocks. Like
I agree with that.
One Manhattan City block is 2 Brooklyn blocks. So this man ran
Lost
for
and found,
blocks.
said, "Gone, girl."
And I'm just like, we definitely everybody was out here talking about, like, everybody was mad at Megan Good, like, oh, how she gonna stand by him, and how does she, and it's like, so the question was, I saw a couple of comments. It was like he should sue everybody who dropped him, and he should stop working with people. He should be, he should sue the people who blamed him, or the people who believe what happened to him. Do y'all think he should countersue? Do you think he should sue that? First of all, sue that girl for defamation of character, and should he sue all the people who, like? Should he just?
Heck yeah!
Everybody.
He lost a lot of money off of that. Reputation hurt, all that stuff, and she should go to jail.
Yeah,
but she won't.
You think she won't?
She should.
No, she won't. She won't.
Why do you think? Even if they, I mean, well, no. I mean, consider society.
Hold on. Is Amber Heard in jail?
Yeah.
She's not, right?
Right.
There we go.
I mean,
there we go.
Well, he still should sue. I think he should sue people. I think he should sue everybody. Everybody who put their mouth on him should get hit with a lawsuit.
Hey, yo.
Put your mouth on me.
Corey, you know what? I love you.
I do. Judon could be right there. I would say sue NYPD. Body cam literally shows them like trying to coach her to say certain things. You know what I mean? To say a certain thing.
Why would they do that? They know they can't do that.
I don't even know.
Child, NYPD is different.
Yeah. So anyway, it's good to hear that the truth is starting to come out a little bit, constant stuff like that. Though it really hasn't come out. Like mainstream media isn't pushing this narrative at all. Mainstream media was pushing the narrative of John beating this little white girl, but they haven't been really pushing the narrative of stuff has come out in court to show different. You know what I mean?
Shout out to TMZ.
Yeah, shout out to TMZ and a bunch of YouTubers who are really putting people on notice as to what's going on or whatever the case may be. So, yeah. So that's what it is. The moral of the story is leave the snow bunnies alone. You hear that, Goss?
What?
The moral of the story is leave the snow bunnies alone.
Can't do it.
We should play Marcus Garvey and get Knox in exchange for not suing God.
And the whole Coretta Scott, even the Coretta Scott Michelle Obama comment was taken out of context. Like people was pushing that in mainstream media, like he was saying like, no, you need to cover for me the way that a Coretta Scott or Michelle Obama would. That was not the context of the conversation. The context of the conversation is you can't be out here in these bars getting drunk. If you're going to be with me on my rise, I need you to stand there dignified like a Michelle Obama or a Coretta Scott. Now, why was he trying to get this white woman to be these powerful black women? I don't know. Let me stop. White women lead love too. I'm just saying. But I can't be the one, though. I can't be the one.
We got it, Corey. Save them out of elevators. You grab them by the side.
Save them all.
That's right.
She don't want to be saved.
Well, that's our show, guys.
That is that.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. What the things I say? Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. If you feel inclined to donate to our Cash App below. Donate to the Tastemakers Pod. You feel free to join the.
He should have said Jackie Kennedy or something.
Feel free to donate to the Tastemakers Cash App. You can join the Patreon. We have three tier levels. All of those help us keep the lights on.
We changing the rules though. Those tier levels.
We'll have this conversation off.
I don't think I shouted out Kim in the chat, so wanted to get that out there.
Hey, Kim.
I think you remember.
If you want to influence topics, you gotta pay $20 a month.
So, that's our show. Again, I'm your girl Kino Key. This is your boy God's favorite DJ, aka him. That's Brina, the producer extraordinaire, and they call him quote. We'll see y'all on the next Tastemakers podcast. Bye.
Deuces.
Makers. Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. For the movers and shakers, for the new tastemakers, sommeliers came out to play. Classics in the current day. For the movers and shakers, for the new taste.